All right, folks, I think we are good to go. Thank you all so much for your patience. We truly appreciate it. There's nothing like a little Zoom technical difficulty to get your blood pumping early in the morning. So thank you all. My name is Ryan Zinn with Grow Ahead. I want to invite you or thank you for coming for our third day of our week of action. Um, for those of you that did not weren't able to join us yesterday, we've been conducting informational and advocacy webinars all week, starting first on Monday, where we gave overviews for Grow Ahead and a little bit of background on agroforestry, what we like to call agroforestry 101. And yesterday we had a chance to meet with three of our great implementation partners, the MST from Brazil, COMSA from Honduras, and Coco from Ghana. Each were able to present their very own unique approach to agroforestry and discuss a little bit about their experience with Grow Ahead and the positive impacts they are having on the ground with their campaigns. All of those resources will be able to be accessible as a recording later on if you'd like to take a look at it and did not have a chance to see them. And today we've got a great opportunity to talk with Amie Farkas of Maggie's Organics. And before we get going with there, I just want to let everybody know that there's still time to register for the presentation tomorrow, which is Defending Our Forests with Amazon Watch. And we'll also have a presentation by Dr. Lauren Gifford of Colorado State University, and she'll get into the nuts and bolts of the carbon markets and all the pitfalls we are seeing in the marketplace right now. So I encourage you to please register. There is still time. And then lastly, I want to just notice or reference the fact that during this week of action, we are promoting three of our current campaigns, two of which are in Mexico, one of which is in the Yucatan Peninsula, it's seed saving and reforestation with the organization Cacustal. We also are working on the Pacific coast with an organization in the state of Guerrero, which is farmer-led agroforestry in Mexico's coffee lands. And this is one of our many projects. We work with coffee farmers and really regenerating coffee landscapes to address things like pests and disease, but also really diversify income for farmers. And then lastly, our third campaign during this week of action is based out of Ivory Coast with the Women's Co-op of Kani, where they focus primarily on cocoa production and are really looking to transform and regenerate their cocoa plots to a much more diverse agroforestry system. So I encourage you all to take a look at our website to learn more about those projects. We also have a number of great gifts that are associated with those projects, including chocolate from Dr. Bronner's that is sourced directly from Connie and Ivory Coast. And then lastly, I want to go ahead and thank all of our great sponsors and partners for this week of action. Their generous support has been able to make sure that we can really maximize our impact and generate more donations for all of our projects. So we are very grateful for their ongoing support, and we look forward to working with them going forward. And with that, I want to go ahead and introduce my good friend, Amie Farkas. Amie is the head of supply chain and product management at Maggie's Organics. And Maggie's got a very deep roots in the organic and fair trade world that we've had a chance to collaborate on a couple of projects over the years. And I am just such a huge fan of Maggie's Organics, one of the true leaders in organic apparel and really creating ethical supply chains all around the world. And so Amie is going to give a little bit of an overview of the work that she does at Maggie's and talk about the partnership with Grow Ahead. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop my share and then hand it on over to Amie. And then see if I can make sure that she can get permission to access Zoom. All right, 1 second, please. All right, Amie, I think I've updated the settings. I think you should be good to go. All right, beautiful. It's a miracle. Fantastic.
Hello,
the Zoom gods and goddesses have spoken. Thank you.
You never know what kind of technology hiccup is going to happen next, but thank you for having me, Ryan, and Grow Ahead, and thank you all for being here today. I am, as Ryan said, Amie from Maggie's Organics. Let me just get this shared so I can talk. I put together a little presentation for you guys in case you don't know much about us, or if you know some about us, and maybe you'll know more than me, and that would be exciting. So we've partnered with Grow Ahead for several years now. I think it's coming up on 8 or so years when we first started working with Grow Ahead when they first came around. And I'm excited to see all of the impact that they've had over the years that I've known them. So Maggie's we were founded in 1992, and the premise was that producing textiles doesn't have to be extractive and harmless to the environment, harmful to the environment and the people that are connected. And everyone can be treated with dignity and respect. It sounds kind of simple when you first think about it, but it's actually kind of a long and complicated process. In fact, we never really intended to go into the apparel world. Our founder at the time was working for an organic tortilla chip company and was working with her farmer because her blue corn tortilla chips were turning gray. And so that people don't want to buy gray tortilla chips. They want them to be, you know, blue if it's blue corn. She was talking with the farmer and he's like, I know just what to do. We're gonna add some cotton into the crop rotation and it's gonna fix the nitrogen in the soil and your tortilla chips are gonna stay blue. And she's like, yeah, that's great. And moved on with her life going, okay, that problem's fixed. And then a few months later, the farmer comes to her and says, hey, I have like 200 acres of this organic cotton. It did really great. And I need you to help me sell it. And being from the food industry, the initial action is, but it's not food. You can't eat this. And he's like, but it's organic. And so I think this is like kind of how we've always been involved with what we do is that we have these opportunities. The farmer has made this organic cotton. We started learning about all the horrible pesticides and herbicides that are used in cotton production. It's one of the biggest polluting crops up there with coffee. So she got together with her partner at the time and they decided, let's make socks. So they took it's a huge learning curve. So you're in the cotton field and you have a cotton ball and it doesn't immediately go directly into an apparel item. So it was a big learning curve. We kind of started backwards where you start with the farm and then go to a product instead of most people who make apparel or textile products start at the end product and then figure out how to make it. So we learned how to gin and spin and then we decided to make socks and started going to the Natural Products Expo with a wall of socks behind them in 1992 to sell to a bunch of food stores. And funny enough, it worked. They understood organic. There's a lot of, and at first, explaining like why it's good to buy organic cotton things and why it matters. Skin is like the biggest organ of your body. And so what you put on it does actually matter. And then we slowly started adding in more types of products like t-shirts and camisoles and basic apparel. And at the time, all of this was made in the United States. As we moved into the world of t-shirts and apparel items and garments that are done in cut and sew factories, we began to learn firsthand the real problems with the labor associated with the apparel supply chains. And so while initially our mission statement was to convert as many acres of conventional cotton to organic as we could, it expanded to also include the labor rights of the workers that we are making our products, and how we can help support them as well. So over the years, since the picture on the left there is our first socks that we ever made, and we still make a version of them called our classic crew socks. And now we offer a wide variety of socks that are still all knit in the United States. And excited that this year we launched a line of regenerative organic certified apparel garments that are produced in India. We kind of have defined a little bit more over the years, like what exactly our mission is and what we believe in. And it kind of goes down to 4 basic type of principles. We act with integrity. So we have a policy of adhering to the highest industry standards and sometimes beyond. And we go through voluntary audits with membership organizations of fair trade, and also the auditing that's done for the Global Organic Textile Standard and the Regenerative Organic Certification. So we have longevity. We're over 3 decades experience building ethical and sustainable apparel supply chains from the farm to the final seam. And because of that, our clothing is durable and you could feel how the beautiful difference in it. Community, every person in our supply chain is important, and really what truly makes our product special. We want to honor all the hands that are involved. And we also strive for transparency throughout our supply chain with the ultimate goal to connect those who wear our products with the people who make them. And aside from the organic and the land focus, like really the people, I think I've said it a few times now, but the people are really what make the biggest difference for Maggie's Organics and what makes our products so special. They truly care about what we're doing and we care about what their conditions are like. So that's really what makes it special. So we have several reasons for partnering with Grow Ahead. The agroforestry projects that they are working on have an impact beyond carbon storage. They directly benefit farming communities with food sovereignty, community empowerment, trainings, and obviously it's enriching our soil. We have gone with Grow Ahead, partnered with Grow Ahead for several different ways. The first one is this stand sock that we did, and a percent of the sales of it was directly tied to a donation to Grow Ahead. We have also donated products for fundraiser incentives, and currently we offer an eco-friendly shipping option on our website, which our customers have actually been quite satisfied with. It will pop up as an option when you add something to your cart to add plant a tree for $2. It's set up as like a product type and they can choose to add the $2 tree planting donation that goes directly to Grow Ahead at the time of their purchase. So that's what I got.
Great, Amie. Thank you so much. So, I think one of the things that we are so grateful for in our partnership with Maggie's is, a lot of times companies will really just focus on doing right within their supply chains, for example, or right by their employees, and maybe not focus so much on the, philanthropy side. And so, I'm just curious, from Maggie's perspective, in addition to Grow Ahead, what are some of the other causes and things that you're working on, and what motivates you to do this? Because just focusing on your own sort of supply chain and your work is hard enough. Adding this extra layer is especially challenging. So I'm curious, like, how do you kind of think about that as a business?
Yeah, I think it's important for us to, when we find organizations that are aligned with like how we are feeling about things like Grow Ahead or other things that we've supported as the Center for Biological Diversity. They do a lot of legal work, and the Pollinator Partnership, Bigger Than Bees program, because it's aligned with what we think. And the more that we're able to help the overall impact of making this place a better earth and taking care of the earth, then the more impact everybody else can have, right? So it's like if we want to work in a silo and just focus on just what affects us, then we're not going to be able to accomplish as much as if we work together with other organizations.
No, that's great. So I'm curious, what other kind of networks is Maggie's involved in, whether that's fair trade or their trade organizations that kind of like really speak to your values and mission?
Yeah, so we are a member of the Fair Trade Federation, a North American Fair Trade Association. And then we are also a guaranteed member of the World Fair Trade Organization, which is more of an international umbrella of kind of similar to the Fair Trade Federation. We find that I personally find that those two membership organizations are amazing for verifying that what we are saying that we're doing and going through the process of, okay, we're saying these things, are we actually living up to what we're saying we're doing, and providing direction on continuous improvement, because there's a never ending list of more things that we can improve upon.
I can imagine, coming from that sort of side of the business as well. I do know it gets really easy to get caught up on the continuous improvement and really, sort of differentiate yourself in the marketplace. And so I just got to hand it to Maggie's for doing such a great job over the years of being able to do that and maintaining your ethics, which is really challenging, in business in general, but certainly in the apparel business, it's really challenging.
Thank you so much for noticing, Ryan. Our founder was a very amazing person, and I'm grateful to have had spent time with her.
Well, I'm curious, Maggie. Amy, I'm sorry. We had one question. In terms of whether that's with sort of the philanthropy side or some of the more sort of day-to-day work with Maggie's. What's been some of the more inspiring projects that you've been able to work on?
Oh, I mean, there's been so many. So like, I've been involved with like helping worker-owned cooperative in North Carolina that and helping them get established as a cut and sew facility, and seeing them be fully independent from us now is pretty incredible. Um, I've seen sad things too. I've seen some companies don't make it. We used to have all our cotton for our socks come from Nicaragua. And unfortunately, they ended up losing the cotton crop after several years of devastating climate situations. And so we've had to diversify and move around. And what I'm proud about that is that we've expanded like our viewing, right? Like we've learned that, okay, this is, and it's different in each region you're working with. And so you develop a new appreciation for the people and how we're all together, but yet we all have our own unique things. And I think that that's been the most like thing that I've learned the most, right? Like, and how my life has changed because I interact with people differently now from this experience.
Well, thanks. You had mentioned a little bit about the feedback from Maggie's customers in terms of partnership with Grow Ahead and the eco shipping option. I'm curious what has some of that feedback been, and in general, do you see any other opportunities to spread the word?
Yeah, so we've had some customer reviews and people write into us that they really appreciate the option to having the tree planting to offset their, we're using it as an eco-friendly shipping, but I think they appreciate that it's actually, they know what it is, it's defined, it's a tree and that it's going to the actual farming communities that need the help. Because sometimes I think people have a concern that where they're donating their money to isn't actually doing, like how much of that is actually going towards the action step, right? And so I feel like this is a concrete way that our customers have definitely appreciated. Um, and then I think I would like to, at find other ways to support Grow Ahead through maybe more product type of offerings, tied to project specific situations to where we can help raise funds for the cause.
Right, that would be fantastic. I'm curious, for a lot of the other businesses out there who are just oftentimes struggling with, day-to-day work and putting out a million and one fires, how easy was it to set up the eco shipping option? And do you have any recommendations for other businesses out there that are looking possibly to, kind of improve their impact in the philanthropy world?
Yeah, so setting up the eco-friendly shipping option was not too difficult on our website. We set it up as a product type, so it just wasn't tied to a physical product. So that way we were able to take in the transaction for the tree planting and specify in our accounting system where it was going to. Um, and most websites nowadays, unless you're like custom coding everything, have plug and play type options to set that up. So that was fairly easy. And then as far as other ways to contribute, I think it's good to think outside of the box when you're looking at ways that you can help make an impact beyond your immediate company. And your answer might come up with something different. It could be, let's have an event where we have a portion of our sales for a couple days be going towards this cause. It could be a variety of different things.
Cool. That was great. Well, one thing I'll do right now, which I had sort of jumped the gun and did not share, but I want to just share really quickly with the group some of our different partnership models that we have at Growhead, including the eco shipping that Maggie's is participated in. So, early on in the Grow Ahead days, we had a lot of requests for carbon offsets. And for many of the reasons what we'll discuss tomorrow with Dr. Lauren Gifford, we actually opted to not participate in any type of offsetting. But as the world continues to kind of grow and focus more on e-commerce and shipping products all around the world, we wanted to provide an opportunity for businesses and customers to get a little bit more plugged into that option as far as not quite an offset, but really just compensating for any type of that shipping. So a lot of the partners that we work with have incorporated this eco shipping option where they can either just apply sort of a generic dollar amount or $2 per shipment. We found this a very easy way for businesses to get involved. And it's great because it's a real concrete way for customers to be able to feel like they can actually contribute with something concrete. Like you said, Amie, it's not something, nebulous. A tree, it gets planted in the ground, and in a way there is that kind of interesting connection that they have with the communities doing that work. But we also have other programs as well that I've worked in the past, including grants and donations from brands for sure. Sometimes Paizel Surfboards, one of our great partners, what they do is they make a contribution for every product sold. So for every surfboard, they donate $1, which is fantastic. We've done some great cause promotions as well with other brands like Thrive Marketplace, for example, that have worked out really well. And so one of the things that we're realizing as a nonprofit is, it's very challenging to get grants from foundations these days. The landscape for fundraising is really constantly changing. But one thing that we realize is having good, strong business partners has really made all the difference in the world in terms of our ability to continue to provide funding and support for all of our partners on the ground. And I just want to show kind of a quick list of some of the people that we've worked with in the past. And we're so grateful for all of these business partners because their support really allows us to maximize all of our impact and funds that we deliver directly to all of our partners. A lot of organizations really suffer through very, very high overhead. And one of the things that we're most proud about Grow Ahead is that our overhead is quite low as compared to other nonprofits and foundations. And this allows us to deliver as much as possible in terms of our funding to all of our partners. And so we're just absolutely grateful for all of this fine work from all of our partners and business partners. All right, so I will stop that share. And so, Amie, I want to just wrap up here and give you the last word. Any message you might have to the audience or any other brands or businesses looking to maybe perhaps get involved with Grow Ahead?
Sure. I mean, I just think that the more that it's easy to start to overcomplicate things. I find in situations like this, like, oh, we could try to do this or that. But even if you just step your toe in a little bit and be like, hey, let's try this eco-friendly shipping thing and see how much impact we can start having there. And I think as you start going along that you'll find more and more ideas come to you on ways that you can implement action outside of your company to like-minded organizations.
Right.
And
Well,
thank
thank you
you
so
guys
much,
for
Amie, for
having me.
taking. Yeah, no, this is great. We are so grateful for our partnership with Maggie's. One thing at Grow Ahead, we really are very selective when it comes to partners with businesses, and we really limit it to really sort of what we would consider to be the highest bar ethical businesses out there. So, and Maggie's is really at the top of that list. So thank you for your ongoing commitment and your support. And I encourage all of you to join us tomorrow as we jump into some of the more interesting elements of protecting the environment and local communities with our conversations with Amazon Watch and Dr. Lauren Gifford. Thank you all so much and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.